I'm not complaining, but it seems weird. Our little aubergines are loving this temperature, but it's mid-October. The parsley too is having a great time. Tomatoes, they've had enough. However, the butternut squash are getting quite adventurous. This time last year, we were lighting our fires, clearing the summer's growth, and making firewood. Today, right now, it's 30 degrees Celsius. We've had no decent rainfall for several weeks, perhaps months. Just a few short showers and an occasional storm. Our bassin, or pond, is the lowest we've seen it. At its fullest, the water was almost spilling over the gap in this stone wall. We've noticed cooler mornings and evenings. We're seeing the leaves turning orange and red. But I'm going to be cutting the grass today or tomorrow. It doesn't need much because there's been no rain, but it's all these wispy seed heads that catch the toes and ankles. When we were looking to move to France, we chose the southwest because we liked the geography. We had spent holidays in the region and loved everything about it. We're coming up to our 3rd anniversary here in France and our 2nd in this house. Weather-wise, it was, we're told, an exceptional year. I think officially we had 4 heat waves. It seemed like weeks of 40 Celsius heat. This year's been cooler overall, more like we were expecting. Now it's mid-October and not showing much sign of giving up on summer. I like to see the different seasons. Each has their own identity. But the timing is odd. The question for this video: did we make the right decision about moving here to this location? I believe we did. We moved here not just for the weather. We moved here for this: sunsets, food culture, space, tranquility. As for the climate issue, well, we and perhaps everybody needs to adapt, to evolve. I believe Darwin was right about survival of the fittest. We don't need to be the fittest, but just fit enough to be able to live in our environment without being too much of a burden on the environment. We are trying to evolve so we may survive in the changing environment rather than fighting against the change. Our efforts so far have found us trying to grow our own food so we don't need to buy food that has maybe travelled too far. We're trying to reduce our usage and dependency on electricity. Probably our biggest consumption here is the oven and the hot water. Last year we installed a log burning cooker. As well as being able to cook on it, it heats the kitchen, and because of the internal room layout, some of that heat goes upstairs too. All the wood burnt on this comes from trees around our property, mostly chestnut and oak. We chose to buy a property that included some forest. Of course, in the warmer times we don't light it. It would make the house too hot. This might be an issue in the future if the average temperatures continually rise. When we're not using the Essie cooker, we have a Ninja. We can cook meals without needing to preheat an oven. For our hot water, up until recently, it's been entirely generated by electricity. Not great. So a few months ago we had a new heating system installed. It also uses logs. It will heat the whole house and provide all the hot water we need. Buying this, which was very expensive, I must admit, and the forested land, was always part of our plan even before moving to France. We wanted to be more self-sufficient and reduce our dependency on a national infrastructure. Reduce, not eliminate. I know that's possible. There's plenty of people doing great things with off-grid living, and maybe one day we can get there. But we also have to be realistic. We still need healthcare. We still need water. We still need some basic ingredients of life that could take a long time, if ever, to rely on ourselves. We also try to reduce our water consumption. When watering plants and young trees, we try to use rainwater collected in the water butts, or just the water in the bassin. We're trying various ways to save wastewater from the kitchen and showers, but at the moment we need to learn how this will work practically without too much interference in our daily lives or cost too much. There are other ways we can try to live with nature in its current climate. We're planting trees around the property in an effort to provide summer shade. It's going to take a few years, but it means we won't be going down the route of air conditioning. So far, we've learned how the air and the sun move through and around the house. In the mornings and evenings, we'll open up the windows to allow the cooler, fresh air in. Then, as it warms up outside, we'll close the windows and the outside shutters to keep the sun out. We're changing how we live here to move the reality closer to the dream we started with. What do you think?